So I figured the best solution to your problem would be a piston tape, which is it's basically just a compact way of storing data. You can have it set up like this, or you can just set up each individual column as its own tape, which you'll see in a second what I mean. But this way you can get all what is that, 7 of your 10-second loops together into one circuit, so they're all running at the same time. So let's just start by setting up the base. You don't need to use the colored wool for this. I'm just using it to make it easier to see like what I'm doing. Like this is going to be the first line of pistons that fire. So you're gonna want to do that and just line that with repeaters. 3 block space, and then a line of upward facing pistons. I'm doing 7 because you have 7 different loops. And then that's I think it's up 3. And then over here you've got a line of pistons facing this way. And then over here you've got one more line facing down, and that's so you have this gap here. So you just want to set your line of pistons up like that. And then what you want to do, you want to run, because this line and this line are going to be firing at the same time, so I'm just going to label them with the same color. And same with this line and this line. So I'm going to do that. This row gets lined with pistons, and you're going to have one more here. Now, this is going to have to divert a bit, and you'll see why later on. But basically there's going to be some extra wiring in here that if you don't divert the signal a little bit, it's going to interfere. So you run that up like that. I'm going to wire it all across. This is going to make sure that they all fire at the same time. Same thing over here, just grab this and bring the signal down. Make sure you stick a repeater on it. And then you want this line of pistons offset by 4 ticks, so you just stick a repeater here. Make sure it's next to this block, and put that on 4 ticks of delay. Wire all of these up, and then you come back here and you wire all this up. So that's the basic piston mechanism. Alright, I guess now what we can do is just set up your loop. But first you're gonna want to set up a pulse limiter here. This to make sure that the signal only gets, the pistons only receive a 1-tick pulse, so that they fire quickly enough that the circuit doesn't break. And to do that, it's really easy. You just build this circuit right here. It's 2 torches, a repeater on 3 ticks, and a line of redstone that goes over the top, like that. And then you just hook it up with a wire there, so that when it receives a signal, it only gets a 1-tick pulse, and then it cycles normally. Now you can attach your clock here. I'm doing a 4, 4, and 2 for a 10-second cycle. And over here I'm doing a custom on-off, which I'll show you how to build right now. You just stick that, one of those right there, with your floor tile on top. And then that block, that redstone does there, controls a sticky piston with a block on top, so that if you're to power the circuit, it's not going to do anything unless the block is up, in which case that activates the loop that should activate the loop. And then that basically sets your clock in motion. You could also do like 3 and 3, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as the total adds up to 10 seconds. So, yeah, that's the clock mechanism. So now we can actually set up the loops and put the data in. So each group of 4 pistons is a different line of data. So like this here is one set. 5. It's these are your 10 bits of data per loop. And what I'm gonna do later on is I'm gonna fill in all the solid blocks are your ons or your ones, and all of the glass blocks are your zeros or your offs. And you'll see how that works in a second. So basically, you just want to fill in like that. Just this much for now, because we need to reach in a little bit later. And just for the sake of this video, I'm doing a different color for each line. Though you don't necessarily have to use separate colors. And then I just need 2 more, so we'll go red and brown. So first thing you want to do is just put down some black wool in here and line the whole thing with torches. And then in front of the torches you're going to want to put the line of repeaters. This will allow you to transmit the power through the solid block to give you an on state, but the power is not going to get transmitted through glass, so that's how you're going to get your off state. Same thing on this side. You want a line of black wool like this and like that, so you've got it's 2 out and the second one does alternating top and bottom. On this side you want repeaters across all the tops, and then you want the repeaters on the bottoms on this side, and then fill in the rest of the spaces with redstone dust. So that's how you're going to split your signal, and you can take an individual output from here, 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 and have them not crosstalk. If you like, you can take a circuit out through the top like that, or if you're on the edges you can even do out from the side like that, and from the bottoms you can just come out and take your output like that. So now what you want to do, you just want to finish filling all of this in. What am I doing? Just like that. Make sure you leave a gap in this corner here and this corner here, because otherwise the circuit's gonna jam. And now we're gonna fill in your the data for your circuit. So I want to grab some glass blocks. And what I've done here is that I've labeled each of them just for the sake of this video with each different on-off cycle. And I temporarily disabled this just so I can do one at a time. So for your first tick, only D is in the off state, so we're going to want to put a glass block there. So now you can see this repeater is off, and that's how you're going to get your off state. And then we cycle it once. You can see the glass block is up here now, and we've got a fresh line over here. And now you've got 2 on, false. You've got 2 off, 1 on, another 2 off, on, and 1 off. And that's your second cycle. Cycle them all up again, and you can see all the data just gets pushed up and we keep getting a fresh row. Your third is just on, off, on, off, on. So that's the third. And that's the completed cycle. As you can see, we're back to the first second. So I'm going to take this apart, hook it back up to the clock. That's up, and hopefully this comes out. Yep. So it seems to work, and just check to make sure it's a 1 second cycle. Yeah, that comes out to about 1 push per second. So there you go. I hope that helped you. And if you have any questions, just post on the forum and ask me.